Hello, you guys. I'm like finna sit down on my hand. Guys, so I haven't dropped no videos in a while. It's been a while since I dropped any videos. I had work I had to do. So that's just where I was at. Right now I'm still doing work. Like, you can never not be working when it comes to what I'm about to teach. Shadow work, it never ends. It never ends. Just based on all the things that we've been through in different lifetimes, and it all lead up to this, in particular time, particular space, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys, how I did my shadow work, my transformation, from death to life, because I'm alive now. And beforehand, I wasn't at all, because of all my trials and tribulations I had to go through, and all my pains and aches and all of that stuff, but it took a lot, and people don't know what shadow work is. They don't know what it takes to do it. And I'm going to explain it to you from the beginning to the end, but I'm going to explain my life and the process that it took for me to get there. And you'll see where the shadow work took place. So this is going to be the first post. Each post will be at least like an hour and 15 minutes. And then the next day I'll post another one. The next day I'll post another one. Only is 7:06. So I'm going to do this until 8:10. Okay? 7:06. Yeah, so I'm going to start from the beginning. So when I was younger, I basically, my mom raised me. My father, he was there, but he was in and out of jail. My nana, my mom's mom, she was there too. And there was a lot of other people that was around too. But they were like the main people that were like relatives. The first time I can remembering life was when I believe I was like about 5 years old. And I was laying next to my mom. And my sister was laying behind me. And I remember a situation occurred, and I'm going to share this with you guys, but I can't go too deep into it because this is also it's in my book, and this is something that you would have to read. I want my book to perish, and I want people to to read it and get things out of it or whatever. So a lot of the things that I am sharing with you guys are in the book. So I'm laying next to her, and my sister said something ridiculous. If she was treating me like this beforehand, I promise you I don't remember. I don't remember the mistreatment or none of that. I don't. Some people do remember being mistreated from 3 years old. Some people remember it too, because everybody spiritually is different. Everybody retain information differently, and things affect people differently. I remember at the age of 5 years old, my sister had said something to my mom, and my mom responds it messed with my head, because it's like I always was a sweet kid. I always was sweet. I was quiet, And now once you hear about once I got up to 15 and 16, you're gonna be like, what? But you're gonna see how I it's always levels to it, But so I'm 5 years old. I hear my sister, say what she said to my mom, and I need this because I have to watch the time. You're gonna have to go get your computer. I'm talking to my daughter. But what she said, it made me real hot inside, and I would never forget it. And that will be the beginning of my life of being, and feeling things and knowing what mistreatment was, but still, even though they did it, I loved them to death. Even though my mom didn't say, she not gonna do that. My mom didn't stand up. Why would you say that? She didn't stand up and, defend her other daughter. And it's not what I wanted her to say to me as a mother today. It's what she should have said. She actually played off into it and was like, I wish the fuck she would. And it's like, I'm laying here. I just woke up. I'm 5 years old. And it was just like, that's when I was awakened, I would say, because I remember at that young, you know, and that's when I was able to like consciously see things and remember things and know, like, you know, I was hurt from them. Them two would play a big part in me being locked in a box for a long time, not knowing who I was, not if I look away from the camera, because this is deep and it really affected me, and I'm reliving it because I want to share with you all, because I want you guys to, like, you know, you're gonna go through things. It may be similar, it may be different, but abuse is abuse. However, whatever level it is. It don't matter how bad it is, how good it is, what level it is. I'm talking about how good it is. It don't matter. You know, they said, well, they didn't get beat. He just got his ass whooped. But you could have hollered at him. Some kids do be needing their ass whooped. You can, if you look at me, I got a tattoo on my head. You see where I come from. Like, come on now. It's probably people with tattoos on their face and they came from prominent families. But I'm sure that they had abuse in the household. I'm sure that they had something going on to where it made them defiant. It made them, you know, have to, I don't know. It made them into the person that they are today. You know, just like my story. So that happened or whatever. After that, where we was staying at, we was living in Hayward. We was living in Hayward in some apartments or whatever. It was like some condos. It was hella condos. And the apartment that we stayed in had an accident. Nobody knew about what happened in the apartment. Like, literally. So listen. So this is when I start. This is what the things I could remember. So that happened. And then, you know, my mom doing things in between what I'm finna tell you, and my sister saying, you know, mean things and just being very evil towards me, and just, you know, when I tell you nobody stood up for me, so I was pushed to a place, and I ain't even got there yet, y'all. It's a minute before I get there. But so in this house that happened in with my sister, someone had passed in there. It was a mother, it was a grandmother, and it was a son. The father was trying to get in the house and protect them. He got burned up a little bit, but he lived. Nobody knew this. My mom ended up looking into it, because I'm telling her, like, it's a lady here. I'm telling her this. I'm like, it's a lady here. It's a little boy. He's my friend, you know. And I'm like, and his grandmother, they here. Like I said, they nice. So once I start opening up to, you know, what I was seeing, you know, what I was feeling, then they start the souls that was left here, because that perished, they wasn't ready to go, you know. It happened abruptly. They started letting themselves be known, you know. Like, she already said something. She's saying something, you know. So it was a lot going on in that house. It was a lot going on. I was abused there. I was molested there. My sister was molested there. You know, it was a lot going on. Family was there and things was going on, you know. So they most definitely made themselves known. That's the first time. And I could say for a long time, because even then, like, as I got older, when I got like 14 and 15, I still didn't like really know the concept, or like, you know, really like accept, or was able to, like, you know, get that, like, okay, how did I see that? How did I see it? How did I know that? When my mom checked into it, she talked to the owner. The owner clarified with her. She's the one, he's the one, the owner is the one who told my mom that, yeah, a little boy, a mother, and a grandmother did die in here. And yes, the father did try to get in here, and he got burned up very bad, but he did make it out. He came from work. He told my mama, like, the fuck? But this is the thing, they still didn't take heed to who was in their presence, right? And I'm not saying that they were less than me, but I had something, you know, like, but yet and still I was mistreated. It was bad. Like, it was bad. Like, you know, and my sister was too. And that's why I still don't understand why we still can't come together on things, like, to this day. Like, you know, like, we do, but we don't. Like, I have to play her game in order to, like, you know, I have to play her game. I have to be on her shit. And it's like, damn, like, you feel me? I got to be put in the box. I got to be belittled. I got to be, you know, actually crazy. I got to be, and it's like, nah, today, just 2022, she not crazy. She was right she knew what she was talking about the whole time. Y'all was scared. Y'all in the house scared. I'm playing with the little boy. Like, yeah. The mom didn't come mess with me. The granny didn't come mess with me. She was messing with y'all. They was nice to me. So, yeah. And I'm sharing this, and I don't care what nobody think or what they have to say. I don't care about what they think about me, about anything, because we all have paranoia. It's always paranoia activities, and we all, not gonna say everybody, but a lot of people have these type of kind of situations that occur where they experience them, you know. So it's like, you can't, they got a whole channel on the shit. Like, you know, so y'all can go, you don't like what you're seeing here, you can go watch something else. You know what I'm saying? I guess if you go watch the white people, or I don't know, some motherfuckers that got like a big ass network, then you'll believe them. I don't care. You can go. So that happened or whatever. And in that house was, you know, that was, you know, it was a broken home, you know, like many homes, you know, that come around. And I'm not gonna say just in my neck of the woods, in the hood, or in the ghetto, or whatever the case. I'm not gonna say that, because it happened everywhere, even in prominent areas. Rich people, they got billions and billions of dollars. It happens. White, black, purple, orange, it happens. So when I tell my story, I'm not just talking to my people, I'm talking to all people. I want to put that out there too. I'm not just talking to my people, I'm talking to all people. I'm not just talking, I'm telling the truth. And I'm talking because I want to get this circulating. We need to, like, come on, like, you know, it's enough of us being in our head about shit. It happened. It really happened. So that happened up in there or whatever. We was there for a minute. I remember my, you know, while that was going on, my mom used to have little parties and stuff. And, you know, a lot of people used to be over. And she used to have a lot of nieces and shit and nephews that used to always be over. And that's how the situation with myself and somebody, you know, messing with me or whatever. That's how that happened, because I'm not going to say that's when it happened. I wasn't being watched, you know. It's a trip how you can mistreat somebody but not watch them, you know. But some motherfuckers do. They'll lock you in the room and mistreat you, and they watch you all day, you know. It's some fucked up shit, you know. So that's where that happened at, and that's where I was at. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself or whatever, because I want you guys to be able to digest what I'm saying and hear what I'm saying, you know. So we still there or whatever. We still there at the house in Hayward. We stayed there. At some point, my father got out of jail, because he wasn't there when these things was taking place. My dad wasn't there when it happened with my sister. When I was able to communicate with the other side, my father wasn't there, you know, or whatever. I'm not even sure if my mom told him about that in the trip, is because the relationship that I had with my dad, because he was in and out of jail so much, it was like when he came around, I was kind of like, you know, scared to talk to him, like, you know, like, but he was very kind, he was very sweet, and I could have talked to him, you know, but I was just young and I didn't know. I used to hear so many stories about him and who he was, and I'm like, I was just a mute. I was a mute a lot of the times. Like, I didn't stand up for myself. I didn't say nothing, like, you know. I know I'm the one who had came forward about what the guy was doing to me. And then once I came forward, and this is in between the time of being, you know, 5 years old. Like I was there until I was like about 7 years old. So in between 5 and 7, and he didn't start messing with me until I was like 6 years old. So that shit went on for a while, for like another year. But I'm the one who stood up and said something, like, you know, and nobody made me feel like nothing. I'm just like, I'm gonna tell on him, like, this not right. It don't feel right, like, you know, this shit ain't right. So once I remember my sister was standing behind me, and she was like, she was just standing there listening to me, and my mom was like, just standing there with her hands behind her back, like, and I'm like, shit, I don't understand how you know, and a lot of the times you was there, you know what I'm saying? You was just somewhere else in the house or whatever. But so, and I love my mom to death. Today we got a totally good relationship, totally different relationship from when I was, you know, in my teens or my young adulthood or whatever. But at the same time, I still be having to, like, you know, stand up and, you know, say things, like, you know, put things in perspective so that she can understand, like, you know, because you didn't understand me then, and it's gonna be kind of hard for you to understand me now, because that shit shaped and molded me. That shit fucked me up for a while, you know. So, and excuse my language, you guys. You know, she too pretty to be cussing. Like, no. So anyways, so yeah, so I told my mom what happened. I told her what happened. My sister was behind me. My sister, she stepped up and she was like, he been doing it to me too. Crazy part is my sister is older than me. He had been doing that to her way far longer than he was doing anything to me. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know, that's crazy, because I didn't know. Like, I never seen him call her to come downstairs or to call her or come in her room. I never seen that happen. And nobody never seen what he did to me either. But, you know, sometimes predators they're swift. He was, you know. He was very swift. So, you know, and that's why I guess I didn't know. And then me and my sister wasn't close, you know. And if you guys, you know, are thinking like, well, why they weren't close? Why they wasn't talking? My sister used to be with my Nana a lot. And I'm going to tell you about her. She used to be with my Nana a lot. My sister used to model. My sister been in J.C. Penney's catalogs, Macy's catalogs, all kind of shit. She used to model, beautiful green eyes, you know, beautiful, beautiful young lady. And so she used to be with my Nana or my Auntie Dottie, you know, a lot or whatever. And so it used to be just me and my little brother at the house, but she was there too sometime. But she used to be gone a lot too. She was the oldest. She was the oldest out of all of us. And so, I mean, I didn't catch it, you know. Heck, man, she calling me. But yeah, I just, you know. So, when she stepped up, I was just baffled. Like, you know, I was hurt. I was mad. I was more mad that, sorry, you guys. I was more mad that he was doing something to her than he was doing something to me. And that's, you know. So now as I get into my story, you'll be like, okay, so now I see. And then I'm like, you know, I'm moving everything around, you know. So I was more upset that he did something to her than he did to me. So I wasn't mad no more. You know, I was more so on some revenge type shit. Like, this dude, like, he hurt my sister. Like, him hurting me, I didn't feel it no more. I didn't. And I know you guys probably like, well, she was so young. How did she have these emotions? How did she go through this? Like, I didn't. Like, I wasn't mad at him no more. I wasn't upset. I wasn't mad because of what he did to my sister. You know, everything that he did to me, I forgot. And today I'm not mad at him. I don't even wish nothing bad upon him, but that's because of where I am and what I've been through and the shadow work and everything. It's like, you know, and I'm going to teach you guys about that. That's the whole point of this video, this story that I'm telling, is because I want to teach you guys how to do the shadow work. The whole time, y'all, I've been doing shadow work and I didn't even know it. Okay? All right? Hold on, Lisa. Hold on. Let me pull it together. I got to pull it together because y'all not going to catch me crying. I got to pull it together, man. My neighbor calling me, so got my thing turning and stuff. So hope you guys are enjoying the video. I know it's like, you know, things that's uncomfortable or whatever, but you know, you got to be able to go through the uncomfortable things in order to make it through to the other side. It's gonna get real uncomfortable when you're dealing with that inside, when you're doing that shadow work. It's gonna get real uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? Some people make it and some people don't. I made it, you know, and I'm still going through it. I'm still going through it. But I'm going to make it through because I know me. Like, you know, I'm connected to the sun. I'm connected to the Most High. There's no way I'm not, you know, and I've been told that I know, you know, and nobody on this earth told me that, you know. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, hold on, somebody come knock on my door. Neighbor might. But yeah, so once she stepped up, it made me, it hurt me. It hurt me. And so after that, my dad was in jail when all of this was going on. He was in jail when I told my mom. He was in jail. So my dad ended up getting out maybe like 2 or 3 months later. So let me tell you a little about my father. My father, I want to tell you about him slow. I get goosebumps like through here. Like, my father was a very, very reputable person. We from Oakland. We from East Oakland. You know, we from California. He was reputable. He was known. He used to run 96 in Birch. He used to run the 90s or whatever the case may be. Maybe I shouldn't be sharing this, but I don't fear anything or anyone. I'm protected by the Most High. I don't have to. You know, I don't. You know, if I have headhunters, it's gonna be bigger than that. In that vibration, it's gonna be way bigger. It's gonna be because they don't want me to give you guys messages. That's what it will be behind. And I'm gonna be honest with you. So yeah, so he came home. My mom told him. He came home like 2 or 3 months later. My mom ended up telling him, and so my uncle ended up catching up with him, and my uncle shot him or whatever, but he didn't kill him. So and my uncle is dead now, so he's not gonna get in trouble. But so my uncle my uncle got killed too. But my uncle ended up shooting him or whatever, and not behind him, behind something totally different. But my uncle ended up shooting him, and I remember after he got shot, it was maybe like a year later, and my mom ended up seeing him at a store like in the 80s. We was like in the 80s on International, and my dad ended up seeing him or whatever. I mean, my mom ended up seeing him. I'm sorry, you guys. My mom ended up seeing him, and my mom bounced out the car. I don't know why and I'm in the back seat. She bounced out the car. Like 5 of my dad partners, or not me, I mean, not say that. 5 people that knew my dad. 5 people that knew my dad was like on the corner. And my mom put me out the car because he was one of those 5 people. And my mom like, yeah, tell him what Lee did, because his name was Lee. I'm putting your name all out there. His name was Lee. So my mom like, what Lee do? And I'm like, I remember that day I will never forget, because it was super sunny outside. It was summertime. It was super. I don't even know if it's the summertime or not, y'all. I don't know if it was May, June, or July, because I was young. I'm still in, you know. So, but I remember it was super, super sunny outside. It was hot. The sun was in my eye. It was like 5 dudes standing around me, and my mom like, you know, telling them what's going on. But he was one of them dudes, but I didn't know. You know, I didn't know that he was in that group. So I'm like, my mom like, what did he do to you? And I'm like, he did this and he did that and da-da-da. And I lied to you not. My dad hit the corner in his Corvette. My dad hit the corner like this. But my dad didn't know that we was there. He hit the corner. My dad, he pushing, because he had to clean his Corvette back then. This was like in 93. You know what I'm saying? But, so he hitting it in his Corvette. He hit the corner. And it's crazy that he did that, because he didn't know that my mom was there. He knew my mom was pulling up to the store. He didn't know nothing, because he would have stopped. My dad was very supportive, and he took care of my mom when he was in my dad was in jail. He took care of my mom. Even if my mama was messing with, my mom always was messing with my stepdad, but my dad paid the bills and everything. No lie. He did. I know that for a fact. You know, all the way up until he got killed, he did that. But so my dad hit the corner. I remember when my dad hit the corner. This is how I knew it was him, was because My dad hit the corner, and my mom seen him, and my mom was like, Isaac, hey. And he took off running. And my mom she had a 40 in her hand, and she tried to throw it at him. But my dad kept going because, mind you, this nigga got like, forgive me, I mean, Niji. I don't say the N-word. Sorry, you guys. I'm trying to get out of that. I used to a lot, but so this Niji, and you guys can go look up Niji so you guys can know what Niji mean. It mean brother, you know, father, loved one, and things like that.
You have a lot of possessions, a lot of money in the bank.
Position make you rich? I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.